240 cards. And if you'll sign those, love First Baptist Church Connecticut. And then at the end of February, well, it's not really the end, it's the middle, February 18th, from 9 to 12, here in the fellowship hall, women will gather to sew pillows for the hospice organization. We call them bone pillows because they're shaped like a bone, but they help support arms or necks or whatever for the patients. And we love doing it. Margaret organizes that, and she does organizing. We have places set up all through the fellowship hall, and if you don't sew, it's okay. We'll give you another task. There's something for everyone. And in March, our focus will be our Annie Armstrong offering, which supports North American missions. And the Mount Zion Association will have their annual WMU meeting at Glencoe Baptist Church. And we will be supporting the Family Abuse Center of Alamance County with some items to take to them in March.
Okay, thank you. Next up,
Is
where are we starting?
our secretary here? She's right here.
Yeah, she's right here. All right. Yeah, all right, next up is Laura. I don't see her, so we will go.
Joe's doing her.
Joe's doing it. All right, so we're getting a twofer. Doesn't mean you get 4 minutes.
What was that?
Doesn't mean you get 4 minutes.
All right, I'll do it in 3.
All right.
Actually, looking at hers, I'll definitely not go 3. Okay, we'll start with music. Sunday morning worship has been going great. Be on the lookout for some new songs added in over the next few months. We're getting a good head start on planning for Easter and the upcoming season. We are excited to try something new this year, so stay tuned for that. And then we switch over to media. Currently, my project, me speaking on her behalf. Currently, my project is our missions highlight video. We've been interviewing people over the past few weeks to shed light on various ministries and to get people excited about becoming a part of those teams. We got so much good contact. In fact, we'll be splitting this project into multiple weeks over the course of the next month or two. We've got several other video projects in the queue for our Build Your Church campaign that you may be seeing in the future as well. Thanks to everyone, and like Sammy always says, love you all, but God loves you more. Probably more enthusiasm than I have. And then for production, things are going good. Just implemented some new technology for running one of our cameras, just to kind of help create that live stream experience just a little bit better for everybody. And that's kind of my goal going into like planning for Easter as well, just kind of tighten up a bunch of loose ends and just create just a better experience with what we have right now, implementing just new technology as we get it. I'm hoping to have some more in the next month or two. We'll see how that kind of plans out. And then just figuring out different stuff to do in terms of like backdrop going into Easter. Right now, I'm kind of having more theme towards the 11 o'clock service, which is that series is called In the Beginning, focusing on Genesis. So I'll probably kind of keep it in terms of that kind of theme, where like try to make it specific but also generic enough to where it kind of blends for both of our services. So both services are getting like an equal experience without it feeling like you're in one church but it feels like the other. So, and that's all I got. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns.
Okay, thank you. Next up, Maddie, Children and Youth Ministry.
So thank you guys again for letting me speak on Sunday, having that opportunity for the youth. We have Walking Wisely is coming up, that's February 10th and 12th. So just being in prayer for our students and our leaders, and just what God is going to do through that. We have a lot of new people who have never done Walking Wisely before, and so I'm super excited about that, but just need prayers, because that can be a little bit scary, because we have a lot of new kids coming in. And then we'll have Winter Jam, it's going to be at the end of February, and then we have a middle school FCA retreat, that'll be March 3rd through the 5th. So a lot of things that are going to start coming up. We'll start talking about camp and all of that, and probably some youth fundraisers that are going
Okay, thank you. Lewis?
Oh, wait,
Oh,
Haley's supposed to be with me, so.
oh, all right.
We don't have anything this quarter ramping up for Vacation Bites, which is our biggest time of the year. Our theme this year is Knights of North Castle, so our central question, the big thing we're trying to ask is how can we be strong in God's power? So we're basing it on Ephesians 6:10. Vacation Bible School will be the second week of June, which is the 12th through the 16th, I believe. Start meetings for that next month. So we're volunteering for each one, so we definitely need your help. The second thing we're doing is we're going to be doing Wednesday night Bible study. And so I've been kind of trial running it, but we're trying to get it off the ground. We have 9 kids that will be coming on Wednesdays, which is amazing. And so we're just trying to, we're gonna memorize Bible verses, we're gonna memorize the books of the Bible. We're just trying to make sure that they know the Bible and how that relates to God. Any questions?
Also, we did do Knights of North Castle, just so you know.
Yes.
Like, you've heard it before, so we did it online during
Yes.
COVID. But we really, really loved it and didn't, and like felt like we got gypped on it because we didn't get to like actually do it. So we are recycling that, so if you saw that before, you did.
Yes.
We're just doing it again.
We're just
It
doing.
does say some new budget too.
Yeah, and we're doing, we also did Adventure Island when COVID initially came, we were supposed to be doing Adventure Island, which we had to do virtually, so we're gonna do that again in person next year, because like Mike said, we kind of got gypped when they were doing things, so, yeah.
Thank you very much. Now you're up, Lewis.
All right, sounds good. I just want to say thank you to the deacons that we had rotate off in the past month. Thank you, John, for being a great leader for us last year. Appreciate all of y'all who serve as deacons. There's 2 or 3 of them. But so we have deacon ordination on February 26th. That's going to be a really awesome service. It's one that I really enjoy. It's a really special time in our church where we get to just say a blessing over our newest deacons who have never been deacons before. So that's a really cool time. We'll also be doing the service where we hold up the signs in the front of the church and kind of let everybody know who their deacon is. Come up and introduce yourself. If you find out you're not assigned to a deacon and you are a member of the church, email Rhonda or Sammy or me.
Or you don't have to be a member if you want a deacon.
Fair enough. Hey, that works. If you want a deacon and you don't have one, let Sammy know, and we'll hook you up with one. I've been thinking about this over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and something that's really been put on my heart is I feel like sometimes we lose the thought that church is a lot of fun. And this year I want it to be a big focus that it's fun to participate in church, it's fun to serve, it's fun to be around people that you go to church with. And so I want that to be a big focus for not just the deacons, but our congregation as a whole. So, Sammy printed out the teams lists over there. If you want to take a look through those and see, I might be stealing some of your thunder, so I apologize. But if you know somebody who has skills or talents that could be useful to one of those teams, or if they don't, they can still serve. So that's all I got.
That's the best way to get involved in church, is to get on one of the ministry replacement teams that's there, because there's always a need,
And it's fun.
most of the time.
We talked yesterday, Louis and I talked yesterday, and so we thought we'd have a campaign, Make Church Fun Again. MCFA, right? All right, here we go. We made hats and shirts. All right.
All right, Chris Conley, anybody speaking for him?
No, but let me speak for the ministry placement team real quick, because I think we've got a coordinator now, starting today. I think Angie Patterson is gonna take, the coordinator role in the ministry placement team. However, we've got a lot of holes in our ministry placement team, and we got some work to do to get this out. So if you will, please bear with us over the next 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we're gonna try to have everything, sometimes this, I can say this because I lead this church, right? Okay, so sometimes this report is as clear as mud, meaning you can't understand it. So we're in the process of making this where we all understand where the need is for people. We do know right now, though, that we need some people on the ministry placement team. That's the group that puts these groups together. We're also in dire need of bylaws team members. Dire need for bylaws team members. And that's a group of people who oversee the bylaws, and they may not do anything for a year or two, but this year we need them because we need to do some things in our bylaws that, we're gonna talk about. I guess I'll talk about that at the end. But there are there's a whole lot of opportunities to get involved in our church through, and you can, this helps us to keep it organized by knowing who's on each team. And we have teams from Christmas parade float to stewardship. So if you wanna be involved in our church, you just need to, give me a couple weeks to get this together, get it out to you. You'll see what the need is, and you can jump in and be a part of it. If that doesn't work, you can always join Vacation Bible School. It doesn't matter how many people we put on that.
Hey, get a dunk tank and I'll be your first volunteer.
Okay, that's in our budget.
Do what?
A dunk tank,
That's
that's
in
in
the
our budget.
budget, that's cool. The other thing too is David Fairclough is here, I know he's gonna talk in a minute, but he's also got opportunities twice a year for Operation Inasmuch and, or other handyman type ministries, if you're into that kind of thing. We have our Joy Group who goes out once a quarter and visits our shut-ins and prays with them and makes bags for them. You can actually, if you're over 55, you're part of the Joy Group, they play some kind of games upstairs every Wednesday. They're up there playing cards and dominoes today. They get together, they take trips. Nita will tell you about that. But there's so many ways to get involved in our church. And if you're not involved, then you're missing a blessing. That's all I gotta say about that. Go ahead.
Sammy, can
All right.
I ask one question about, the missions team on here? You
Yes.
know, we're a fairly new team, and everybody, it's a rotating team, but because we all came on at the same time, we're all expiring at the same time, which doesn't make sense to me, because you have no continuity. So if I can get a couple of volunteers from that team to, add an extra year, or, can we do that?
I think that could be an issue that will come with the, bylaws
Okay,
group, that
Yes.
if there is a new, basically a standing rotating,
right,
which are the only ones that the church has to vote on, and are rotating, some of them, we need to talk to them, bylaws about being not rotating.
yeah, okay.
Properties, for one. But those are all things we can bring up at that
Oh,
time.
okay,
And we
I
wanna
didn't know if
add-
this was the place to bring it up, but
Yeah, because have we added that
we
officially
don't need to have
The team?
five,
it's been voted on it is a standing rotating.
Team.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, well, so we need to get bylaws as an action for them to write that in, that when a new standing rotating comes in, certain people will be designated.
1
you
year,
know,
2
1
year,
year,
3
2 year, 3 years to get the stagger started,
okay,
all right?
thank you.
And that's kinda how we're gonna have to fix that, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Chris Conley, going once, going twice, not here. All right, Melody Wren, personnel team,
She's not here and there's no need personnel.
no issues?
There's never issues.
Okay, opportunities, there we go. All right, Sunshine Ministries, where's Libby?
She's right here. She left this note. She said Sunshine's Ministries recently had the floors in the preschool area stripped and waxed at a cost of just under $900 that they paid for. This was in addition to sharing the cost of stripping and waxing the fellowship hall and the hallway floors on the first floor. They're gonna begin painting the preschool area the week preschool is closed for spring break, which is April 7th through April the 14th. This includes all preschool rooms, hallways, and bathrooms. In the fall, they were able to celebrate for the first time since COVID began in 2020, Thanksgiving and Christmas with the preschoolers and their parents in person with a feast and a visit from Santa at Christmas. Both events were well received and super well attended. Preschool enrollment is 52 right now, and after school enrollment is 58. We have finished sending out end of the year tax statements and are now accepting summer camp registration for children currently enrolled in our programs. And our open enrollment begins the second week of February. Fall program registrations will begin the first week of March. And we already are full in our toddlers, our 1-year-olds, and our 2-year-olds. So we only have space in our 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds at this time, unless we come up with another plan to make that bigger. But that is the need.
Yep.
Sorry. That is the need in our community. She said she wants to thank the following people: Bryce Moore for fixing the lights on the first floor, the freezer in the kitchen, and the toilet in the preschool area. She would also like to thank Triad
And
Total.
tomorrow will be the ice maker.
Yes, exactly. She also would like to thank Triad Total Care for cleaning the entire church, George Allison and Judy Gaudin for their help with their preschool program in December, and Ray Robertson for filling in as a bus driver. Thank you for your continued support of this important and vital ministry of First Baptist Church. Respectfully submitted, Libby Isaac.
All right, stewardship.
I'm not the chair of the stewardship team, but Catherine's not here. She rotated off last year. We're gonna vote on our next chair, in the February meeting. We're moving our meetings to the third Mondays of the month at 7 p.m. We did a great job of controlling expenses the second half of last year. We're expecting to break even, which is a really good thing considering how, the shape we were kind of in April or so. April, May, it started a little earlier last year, but we wound up in good shape. We still have 2 openings on our team, and this is just kind of a personal thing for me. I think we have Sammy's done a great job of having 2 very different services, 8:30 and 11, and I think it's important to have balance on our teams represented as well. So that's just kind of, we're low on seasoned members. If you're a seasoned member of our church, we'd love to have you.
Experience.
Question?
On that gray hair,
Audit. Any,
Yes, so we did like a preliminary preparation for the audit last year. That took us quite a bit of time. Given that we hadn't done one in 12 years, it took us a lot of time to get a lot of things together. So we have a lot of things together, and we are planning on moving forward full steam ahead with a full audit, hopefully in the spring.
okay. Thank
It's still in
you.
the budget.
All right, Sunday school. Danny, Anita. All right. Missing an answer. Anita.
Doesn't it feel good to hear from the babies all the way to us gray hair? Seems like we're all busy. What I'd like to report just in general is, we had just a thriving, busy, so many people coming. The pandemic came along and we had COVID and our numbers dropped off. But guess what? We're back in full swing. In January, we had the hot Brunswick stew and slaw and, for our covered dish. And tea, cornbread, vegetables, and we always have so much food. And everyone loves to bring desserts. So if you have a sweet tooth and you're 55 plus, just come to have your fill for our luncheons. Then we played bingo, and we had an attendance of 36, and we took out 5 meals for 41. So that's why I said we're back at our good, strong numbers again. And with all those bingo prizes, what I found out is the old people, us, we love candy apparently because I found these long containers at only $2.38 full of different kinds of bars of candy. And of all the things that I bought and put out there for bingo that cost twice that, forget those, everybody went for the candy. So we're still like children with Santa Claus bringing us candy. Well, on Thursday, January 26th, which is tomorrow, we came up with the idea at our salt meeting, and we all like the idea. We have rented out the Ground Theater for $150. Well, everyone's gonna pay $5, and we already think we'll break even with enough people paying, and we get free popcorn and drink. Then afterwards, we will, go down to the, soda shop, Grand Soda Shop, and they're going to reserve the back part of it for us. But Margaret and Bob have been working mostly on that and doing things and coordinating. Margaret even got out some invitations to some of our other churches for the seniors. So the more people we have, the more $5 we get, so we might even make some money. Well, in February, we're going to, Margaret has been at work again, and she's coordinated, and got all the things out. As Sammy told you, we take gifts out to our senior treasurers, 3 times a year. And I love to shop, so I'm gonna be buying the gifts and what have you. I've already got them 3 quarters done. And sometimes we do bags or whatever, but I have people that can help me, different people take turns. And we will go visit, how many is it, Margaret? About 33, 34 people that are homebound, and we take them a gift and a card, and we call up, talk to them, and just have a little visit, and we really get to know some of our older members that we've not known before. And that's always a fun thing to do, and that starts February 13th and 17th. On the 15th, we will have in February, we always have a love meal. It's not just about couples, it's about love of God, love of one another, and love of everyone that God created. But we come together and we have it easy that time. We don't have to cook, we don't have to bring anything. We have catered meal, and Delancey's is gonna bring birthday chicken, beef tips, mashed potatoes, broccoli casserole, tossed salad, dressing, rolls, butter, and all kinds of pies. And then we're going to have a game, couples tell all. I'm one that loves this, I've got a big imagination, I always love it. And we go see how much these couples, we've got 3 couples that are going to participate. We go find out how much they've learned about each other over the years, and if they really know one another. So that'll be our entertainment. And our trip to February is a trip to where everybody loves this village, to Meadows Restaurant. And so they will leave there, and then we'll go to Dwayne's and Selma and look around and shop around. I think sometimes some of these trips, we women like, most of the men, we keep telling them when we go to Winston and the Hammonds, they can go over to the, what is it, their building stream, or what is it they have there? So, but they never leave, they hang around and wait for us, and then we go out to eat. We've even got March covered with a brunch, and, we had the fair cloths will be giving us a little talk last month, and they went to Israel. And, then we'll go to, the replacements and, Child's Pizza for lunch. But what we've got coming up, and it's already at 19 sold, and I bought 20 tickets to go to the Temple Theater in Sanford. They're going to have all shook up with Elvis Presley songs and music, so I knew that would be popular. But whenever we have anything, and if it's signed up, go ahead and put your name down below, even if we have 20 tickets, because I can try to get a few more tickets. It's all sold out, but you might have to sit on the peripheral edges, you know, not the very best seats, but still it's a chance to go, and we always have a whole lot of fun. So, that's about what we're doing. We even have ideas of April, May, and June. We just love to go, so there's just, and if you ever have never been to one of our luncheons or one of our programs, we would love to have you. We have a lot of fun. And what's so good is anytime you like to do something, you can tell us and we'll make it happen.
All right, thank you. All right, properties, I guess that would be me. I was conscripted last year. That was on that. The team is kind of dissipated. Sandy and I are trying to work to get together a list of potential members with certain talents to go ahead and get the thing started so that Ken and I don't have to do everything that's out here. I mean, sometimes it's there, but one of the things we'd like to get back started again is that we used to have in the summertime, we'd have a church work day. Where it was almost like kind of an Operation Is much type thing, but it is just for things that need to be done at the church. Sometimes that's painting, trimming shrubs, but just the stuff to keep the property looking the way it's supposed to.
And just so you guys know, because I don't know that everybody knows this, but we have 200 people every day in this building. Every day. That's 7 days a week, we have 200 or more people in this building, and it's taking a toll on this old building. She hanging tough. Bryce is piecing her together as best he can, but we got some work to
We got
do.
help. Okay, so that's kind of where we're on that. Manor Market, please.
Okay. One thing I forgot to fill my thing, we have a new refrigerator, a commercial refrigerator. Thanks to Bryce and me breaking our backs, getting it in there. But, that's because of donations from people, in the church and outside the church. It's amazing how many people we have outside this church that donate cash and a great deal of food. Now, my actual prayer thing. We're blessed with 2 large contributions from Allfield Cemeteries. The first was how big was that trailer? 8 by 12, something like that. Half trailer full of canned goods. What is 7 or 8 of us that gathered together the next day to sort it, check the dates, and you have to check dates on canned stuff. But, a lot of work went into getting that sorted out. We got the walls bulged in the overflow room for now. The other one, I went and spoke to their group the following Thursday, and Sammy and them conspired to give them a list of other non-canned stuff that we needed. And we were blessed with almost as much again of that, so that's, Alphil Syntan is doing a great deal to support Mountain Market. We had received 52 frozen chickens, with associated canned goods and, dessert stuff from Mountain Air Farms, big poultry farm operation. They gave away 12,000 of these in the southeastern United States. We were beneficiaries of about 52. Those have provided us with good protein for at least about 2 months of donuts we're giving out. Client attendance has remained steady, but it's funny, we've added about 5 new people. That means about 5 of our older ones haven't been coming lately. And now the last 2 distributions have been pretty bad weather, cold and wet. And that probably, since most of our, people are elderly, has contributed to that. All in all, Mountain Market's in great shape financially. We're in good shape right now as far as candy, but I will remind you, if you don't do, when you go to the grocery store, get 1 can, 1 bag, 1 something, stuff we need, and drop in that basket out there, it helps, it gets used. If we don't use it here, I've got another guy that puts it to very good use. If we've got overages and stuff we just can't use, he has a food ministry also. Nothing goes to waste. Thank you. My question?
You're buying an extra can, do not make an extra can of green beans or corn.
God, please. Please don't get any more green beans. We'll take it, we'll run the youth, we don't need it.
And don't get hominy. Anybody even remember? All right, Mr. Fairclough.
Okay, I've got about 3 or 4 things here, different groups. First one is the handyman keeps working, handily, almost every week doing something. And we've got a ramp to build on 5th Street in about a week or 2 coming up. Weiss has already gone out, looked at it, measured it. And Al Townsend's gonna be the coordinator. And then Randy Green, Kim's husband back here, is also gonna be working with Al, and we're gonna get a couple of volunteers to build that ramp over there. We've also been moving around some temporary metal ramps as needed from place to place the last month or so. I want you to mark your calendars. April 1st is our spring operation in Sludge, where we all gather at church and we fan out and go and do things. In Bevan, it could be washing windows, painting gutters, doing little small little handyman kinds of things. It could be changing batteries and smoke alarm, installing smoke alarm, general things. Raking the yard, cutting shrubs, I mean, just anything. You don't have to have a expert knowledge of anything. You show up and we'll find a place where you can go and help and work, okay, that's April 1st. And I want you also to mark calendars for April 14th and 15th. COVID has prevented us from having our state mission conferences. The last couple of years, they've actually planned to have it canceled because of COVID. This is going to be April 14th and 15th at the Hickory Grove Baptist Church in Charlotte. There's some great speakers coming in. It's all about missions. Mission fairs will be set up throughout the facility. We'll have breakout sessions. We've got some great speakers coming in, such as Lee Strobel, Sheila Walsh, Jennifer Rothschild, D.A. Horton, Tom Richter. So, some great speakers coming in. If you want to know about missions and what's going on with the state Baptist on mission, come. It's just phenomenal. We've got partnerships all over the world, it seems like, with different organizations. If you want to go take a trip somewhere, we can hook you up on a trip. So, go ahead and mark that on your calendar. We just got back from Florida. When was that? We did a bad disaster relief.
November, right before we went,
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we did a trip down to Fort Myers, and several people went down and had a great time, tore out some old sheet rock and stuff, did a little work. And this little girl right here, let me tell you something, she is hooked on disaster relief. She did some mighty big work and climbed up on some roofs and put some tarps on some buildings and things, so that's awesome. So anyway, it's all about getting out of church and getting out into the community and sharing Christ outside of these walls. And so, we don't know who we're gonna run into, but apparently sometimes, and almost all the time, we ask to run into somebody, those are yellow shirts that we wear, and somebody will come up to us and say, you mind going over and praying for so-and-so, you mind going over and checking on this or that? But God really blesses our team when we go, would you say that?
Oh, for sure.
And so forth, so it's all about just sharing this love around, so just come on, get going, and get excited about missions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, David. Standing in for Stan Wheatley is Sandy.
I wanted to give you guys an update on the building team tonight, because I feel like it's important that we know kind of the direction we're going. I wish I knew what that was. The thing is right now we're in a holding pattern, waiting on the architect and the civil engineer to get total drawings together so that they can get a bid from a builder that the bank will approve the monies for us to borrow. Did that make any sense to anybody?
Absolutely.
So that's where we are, but it's in motion. I want you to know that it's in motion. And one of the things that the capital campaign has had a little struggle with is we can't tell right now exactly what they're gonna look for because we haven't got a final number. The bank's gonna look at us funny if the architect and the civil engineer and the builder comes back at 6.2 million and we were gonna borrow 4.5. So that's why we're having to wait. And once we get what that is gonna entail, then we'll put that together with the capital campaign, and then we're gonna go full force, 100 mile an hour to get to that point so that we can get a tractor out there and start building a building. As you heard earlier tonight, our first priority here is to build a full day daycare center in Mebane, North Carolina. And as far as I know, there hasn't been one of any size that's been built since Hallfields was built 50 years ago. And my kids went to Hallfields. And this town has grown exponentially, right? But the daycare system is not. And with that being a need in our community, and with all these new people coming in, I give them an opportunity to find an archway into the salvation of Jesus Christ. I'm not necessarily saying go to church. I just need you to come in and let me give you an invitation. So that's kind of that's the whole main goal of where we're going. And we'll figure it out. God's going to help us to get there. He's going to provide for us. But we just got to get some answers first, and we're in a holding pattern.
When's Ed coming to speak?
Ed Hooks is coming February the 5th to speak at both services about the growth of the city of Mebane and the impact that the church can have. Right? So just kind of give us a little heads up. He's not going to talk the whole time. He's going to do about 10 minutes and kind of give us an oversight of where Mebane is right now, where it's projected to be, and where the church is with that.
Yeah,
So
when we moved here in 1978, it was 1,200 people. And now there's pushing 18,000. We're actually larger than Graham in population.
We moved here in '97 and it was 3,700.
Yeah. But we got the old hockey stick thing going.
Yeah.
we're definitely growing in this area. We've got a new mission field, and we didn't have to go anywhere.
And then, the need for that. I mean, you talk about the wait list, or
It's incredible. To be honest with you, I talked to Christy McCauley, who is the director out at Hallfields, and they now have over 300 families on the waiting list. And now we got a half-day program, and we're having to start a wait list. So the need is humongous. We just got to be a part of filling that need. All right, who's next?
you talking for yourself, or you got Sandy?
Yeah.
Pastor Sandy, final.
Hey, first of all, let me say thank you to everybody for everything that you do as a church. I know I've been pushing hard about getting involved lately, but I'm going to still keep pushing. Because we need to get involved. I love you guys. I love hanging out with you guys. I love being around you guys. If you don't show up, I don't get to hang out with you. Or I'll have to come wherever you are. And I'm okay with that. But it's great when we can gather together, whether it's in worship, whether it's eating, whether it's working, no matter whether we're going to schools and helping out kids, whatever it is that we need to do, that we can do together, it's just better. It's just better. And I think God blesses it that way too. So thank you for participating and being a part of where this church is and where it's going. thank you also for all of your prayers. Last week I had hernia surgery. I'm recovering pretty good. I feel good today. It kicked my tail though, I gotta be honest with you. You know, I always thought I was Superman, but I ain't.
You're getting old.
I'm getting old, but I'm coming back. I'm doing pretty good. I feel like I should be in really good shape next week. This week I still feel good, but I'm afraid to pick up anything over 25 pounds. So I'm gonna wait till next week. As we go through this year, just to know the very first part where we are right now, we've got Mission Sunday. We're gonna talk about missions. Half of the sermon time will be a mission video. The other half is me talking about biblically what mission is supposed to look like in our church. Then on February the 5th, like I said, Ed is coming. He's going to speak about half the time, and then I'll cover the other half of the time. And then we've started some new things that I've talked to the Sunday school classes. Is there any? I don't want to put anybody in a spot, but I kind of do. Is anybody in here that's not in a Sunday school class? The new people are. Right? Christian, you're with the praise team. But anyway, if you don't, you guys are kind of on Zoom with those guys. So, but as you see your friend group in church, help them to find a Sunday school class. And if you can't help them find a Sunday school class, then you start one. Right? The Sunday school classes that we have are very healthy and very alive. But not so much so that you should be so comfortable that we have another group of people that somebody can't lead to open up a new Sunday school class. We've got the room for it. We got the people for it. We got to take a look at it, invite some people, get common ground, and get to go. We just got to keep going because that is the lifeblood of our church. I don't know who I was talking to today, somebody. But anyway, I was saying that if I didn't come and preach on Sunday morning and we didn't even have a sanctuary, we still got church because of the families of Sunday school classes that we have here. They live each other. You know, they're in a community where they know each other. They know what's going on in everybody's lives. They worship together. They cry together. They work together. That's what we want to be as a church. But we want to share that with the rest of the community. The topics for this year, as we go through, you know, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about missions, and we're going to start and talk a lot about being together and the church through the first quarter of this year. Then we're going to talk about Jesus for like 6 weeks as we go into Easter. I think it's important that we understand who we're worshiping and why. What is your? One of the things is there may be some people in here that are asked for our Easter service, Easter Sunday service this year. One of the things I want to do is I have a couple of videos that I want to use from Israel, and then I want some people in our church who are willing to stand up and say, this is what my salvation means to me. This is why the resurrection is important to me. So if you feel that in your heart and you would like to express that, then let me know. But if not, I'm going to volunteer some people, and I'll get Lauren to film that. But we're going to use more video and more things in our services this year than we've ever used before. I'm not real good at that because I'm not a very organized person, but we're getting there, and our staff is helping us to. They're going to make me look good. But outside of that, I still think that our purpose here in Mebane, North Carolina, is to be the go-to church. When you can look, all of these churches here, I love them, and they need to grow, and they need to be all they can be, and I want to be. I support them. But when the chips are down, when something is needed, when God's hands and God's feet are needed in this community, I really like it when the very first call that people make is First Baptist Church of Mebane. Because, I mean, that's what makes us who we are. It always has and it always will be. So, there's a lot of work in that. There's a lot of work, a lot of aggravation, a lot of overflow,
A lot of fun.
and a lot of fun. More fun than anything else. But anyway, we're going to continue to reach this community for Jesus Christ. And we're going to make church fun again. And we're going to do the things that we're supposed to do, not by my leadership, but by the leadership of God Himself. As you know, we're the bride of Christ. You don't think Christ is going to look after His bride? If we'll just be His bride, He will provide for us, He will guide us, He will protect us, He'll watch over us, He'll cry with us, He'll laugh with us, He'll rebuke us sometimes. But the thing is that we'll have that relationship that is a go-to type relationship that's heaven and it's eternal. And that was almost my sermon tonight, so we're about out of time anyway. Yes, Mike.
Did y'all set up a day or time to go over your Israel trip?
Yes, we're still working on that. Again, we're about 2 weeks out, right? And we'll probably have to do it. I mean, it's looking at where we are right now with what we have, because we have like 1,400 pictures and we have 47 videos. And some of those videos we're trying to save exclusively for our worship services on Sunday morning. Like on Easter Sunday, you'll get to see David standing out in the. Were you at the tomb? No, I was at the tomb. You'll get to see where I was reading the scripture of the tomb, where it was open. But we're going to try to add some of those in. But we are going to have an Israel Day. And let me go ahead and say this too, because I think Crosslink is planning to go back this November. And so they're going to do an interest meeting, not an interest meeting, but they're going to do their Israel overview on the 30th. Isn't that right? No.
Sunday night.
Is it this Sunday?
No, the
The next.
5th.
Okay, February the 5th. And I encourage you to go to that. I don't know why they didn't invite us to that. But,
To watch, not to participate.
no, yeah, I'm surprised they didn't invite us to participate. But either way, if you're interested in something like that, and you didn't get all that information, and you don't know anything about it, see me and I'll get you the information, and I'll probably go over and watch myself. But we're going to do our own kind of thing here. It's probably going to be, I guess we'll have to wait till after that. We'll probably be around the 19th, somewhere in that range. So, but I promise you we're going to get there. Any questions for anybody that doesn't know anything? This is a great place for us to air it out. We've got 5 minutes.
Are we gonna do another sunrise service?
Yes,
At the property?
we will be doing sunrise at the property.
That was gorgeous with the mist and
It was.
I got pictures, it was beautiful.
It is. We'll be doing sunrise service on the property 6 whenever sunrise is. So we'll be doing that. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that's kind of special coming up?
Diane said that, and I didn't do it when you were doing the prayer, she said that Al and Meredith are sick.
Yeah.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they got that congested cold, not feeling good.
I'm supposed to see him tomorrow. Okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
I do want to tell you this, especially since we've got a couple of new people here, and I actually went online today and looked, and we have does everybody know we have Right Now Media? And I'm not pushing Right Now Media on anybody right now, but what I'm trying to tell you is that there are a lot of, I think we all need some private time with God, right? And you may feel comfortable just opening your Bible, I get that. But there are some really good authors of books and studies of books of the Bible and things that you might be going on in your life that you really don't want anybody else to know about. There are things and studies and everything else on Right Now Media. If you don't have it, but you need the invitation again, you need to let the office know. We have 71 participants right now out of 286 people that were invited. So I can see the analytics. I'm not saying that I'm watching over you, but what I'm saying is I'm just trying to see what our usage is. And to let you know that I'm using it too, because today I sent one of the studies. Actually they do some pastoral training on there as well. They have some training guides. I sent one to Joe and Lauren and John and Chris about the vision of the worship ministry in our church, and I sent one to Maddie, the heart of a youth pastor. And that's part of their job is to look over this, and we're going to talk about it. I look at things from me, I try to go through it. There's some really, I'm not trying to push it just to push it. I'm saying it because it really is some good stuff. There's some good stuff, right? And if you use it in Sunday school or not, that's on you. But there is some things on there that you can use personally that will help you. unless you just like to talk to yourself.
Sam, did you say Lee Strobel was gonna be, or David?
No, David Strobel's gonna be at the,
All right,
at a mission conference.
everybody know who Lee Strobel is? Okay, it's a fantastic book, kind of changed my whole direction 20-some years ago that was there. And, you know, he started out basically as a, he was a reporter, investigative reporter, wanted to write this book to basically prove that Christ didn't exist. And as he went through this and the people that he talked to and interviewed, it basically turned his life around. And the one statement I've got highlighted, my paperback copy that's there, been overhearing his daughter talking to his wife. And I can't remember exactly how they led into it, but she was saying to his wife, it says, "I want what Dad gets." And a great book. And they followed that up with Case for Faith a few years later. And just wonderful material.
If you're not a book person, you have it.
I have seen the movie. Hey,
For you young kids,
but look,
you have never had a paper cut. You've never had
hey, the goal here is we're gonna have fun at church this year. We're gonna go to work. We're gonna be the go-to church for Mebane, North Carolina. If you're not involved, get involved. If you know some people that aren't involved, get them involved. All right? But let's do this and just do this thing together and let's do it in the name of Jesus. Will you pray with me and we're gonna get out of here? Most gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you for bringing us together tonight. Lord, thank you for giving us this heart and this desire to be your people, to gather together, Lord, to have fun, but to do it in the name of Jesus. Lord, we want to do great things for you, and we don't want credit for it. We want you to be lifted up. Lord, we just want you to be put on the pedestal that you belong on. For you are still God, and we are yet lowly servants. But God, we want to walk in the path that you've given before us. God, we truly want to understand your righteousness that we might live it. Lord, tonight, I have to say that one of the things that as we come together as a church too is we have to look at ourselves and the sin that's inside of us. Help us to hate our own sin, that we don't judge others, that we look for your righteousness of love and of peace and of joy and of justice, and we use that as we walk through the streets of Mebane, as we walk in this state and in this country and in this world. Now, as we leave tonight, God, I just ask that you would go with us and give us courage, and you give us strength, and you give us power, and we'll give you glory as we shine a light to all of those around us, for everyone to see that darkness will not prevail, because you are still God. Thank you for your love and your kindness. In Jesus' name, amen.
Study Mark next week?
Mark 7. Next week, Mark 7.
Okay, if you guys would, could you fold up your chairs and bring them to the back wall so we can stack the papers? Slide this around that way so we can get to it a little quicker.